So I get a lot of questions about what are my current settings for the Division 2, and I figured this would be a great video for you guys. If we went over the settings, right, we just knocked them out, and I have made some changes recently, so some of my other videos are a little bit outdated, and these settings will work for console, and some of the settings will work for PC, but obviously once you get to PC, you have some graphics cards settings, I believe, for like the different graphic cards you guys have, and then also mouse and keyboard. So there are a couple different settings that might not be covered in this one if you're on PC, but a lot of these settings overall work for all three platforms. So let's get into it. So if you guys head over here, we head over to the settings tab, and then we go down to gameplay. We'll start off with the gameplay tab. A couple things I would recommend to improve your quality of life is you might want to turn off his on-call status on and off when you want to hear calls and not. Because if not, you'll get these incoming calls like this all the time. And I usually try to keep this off as much as possible because I don't want to keep hearing like when people are calling. Now, if I do want to help people, I obviously can turn it on at any time. Now, for hints, I hate in-game hits since I've been playing for such a long time. But if you recently just got the game, this might be something to keep on until you're more comfortable with the game, right? Show damage numbers, you always want to have that on. Really up to you though. Show radar. If you put this show connectivity info, this is actually if you back up, right? So if we go right here, you see where it says US East, and then I have like a little blue symbol. Well, that right there is what it would show. If you don't want to have that setting, well, you can actually turn that off. But that is something a lot of people don't know about, but that's what it means. Player level visible, you can have that on. Menu glitch, strobe effect, this is all default. And I think the only other thing that we did change down here is the field of vision view. Now, I would recommend adjusting this. I do play on a monitor, so I keep mine at 25/25 because I play pretty close and I can see everything. But if you feel like your aim's off, if you feel like you're just not enjoying it, it's too much, you can always adjust this. I have mine fully maxed out, but that is something that you guys really need to just play with and then see how it goes. If you guys get motion sickness, you can put this on, yes, no, and that's all I really keep right here. If we go into the UI, this is something else I do change. A lot of you guys ask, how do I get those damage numbers to pop up, right? When I'm hitting enemies, how do I get the numbers to pop up right next to them? Well, what you want to do is have combat text and put it on floating. Usually it's on 2D, and floating is what you want. So floating is what's going to be the one that the numbers start popping up right when you hit them. The numbers are right next to them. So that is what it is, and it's actually really cool. Also, when you guys are doing raids, if you guys want to see the timer on the top left, this is where you can actually change that to raid speed run UI. A great thing to have on there. We keep going down to audio. I really don't mess with any of this. It's really personal preference. I don't change any of this, but yeah, that's really up to you. For the controls, this is where it gets kind of interesting. Now, some of these settings might work for PC, but a lot of them are for console because these are my personal settings on console, right? But yeah, you can. So parkour mode during gameplay, I actually turn this off because this sometimes just throws you over the barrier and then you end up getting shot, so I try to keep that off. I do have parkour mode during auto run on, so like if I ever go in auto run mode where you don't have to hold the controller, right, you just tap it and you're just running, well, I do have that on, yes, so that way it just, because if I'm running across the map and I don't want to keep holding down, well, it helps, right? Camera sensitivity, this is definitely personal preference whether you're on PC, console. I'm running 15, and then my aim sensitivity is 15, so I'm running 15/15, not fully maxed out, which is 20, but 15/15 it works for me. And then my scope sensitivity modifier is only 3, so I definitely mess with these. This is definitely 100% personal preference. Remember, I play on a monitor, I play with controller, with thumb grips, so everything's going to affect everything for me, how close I am and stuff like that. So these settings work for me. Definitely, this is something that you should mess with and play with. Controller vibration, I always have mine off a lot of the time. Sometimes when I'm playing single player games, I'll turn it on, but if I'm gonna get into any kind of PvP, I do turn that off. I just hate it. It messes with my aim. It can definitely help you guys out. The button layout, 100% default, and then this dead zone, that don't even have to worry about that. It's really just depending on your controller. Or so toggle to sprint, I have this on yes, so that I can just toggle on and off. I think this is probably the better setting. 180 sprint turn, I have that on. Another great feature, but if you guys read right here, you guys can adjust it to your play style, how you like it. Enable auto run, definitely love this. You double tap my left stick and then I can just constantly run and not have to control. So my character could literally run and I could just be holding it like this, right? Really cool feature. Movement can X cover. You want to definitely have that on. And then cover, move around corner, button press. Turn that off. Definitely, these are some settings that I recommend keeping off. Move around corner speed fast. Aim assist. Obviously, if you're playing on controller, you always have this on. It's just the way controllers are, the way the aim works in game. It's made to have aim assist. That's why all games have it. Call of Duty, Division, any game you have has aim assist for control. Grenade aim assist, I just leave it on. Hold to aim, you want to put yes. Cancel skill while aiming. I think this is a great feature if you're about to throw a skill out and you don't want to throw it out, but you want to cancel it. Just aim, hit the aim button, and it's automatically going to cancel it for you. Enter cover on long press, you can just turn that off. Nothing you really need there. So that is a lot of the main settings that we're going to be talking about, the further controls. So some of these settings will work for PC, but a lot of these settings are for Xbox and PlayStation. We go to graphics. So for the brightness, I like having my brightness a little bit higher. I feel like the game is already dark. So not only do I have my monitor brightness up, I do have this, and this helps out. So 15 is what I like. Sharpening, I keep it maxed out at 10. Contrast at 15 too. So it's 15, 10, 15. Neutral lighting, I turn it off. I feel like when it's on, it does look better, but when it gets dark, it's like completely pitch black. You can't see nothing. Not really. And then HDR, I usually have this off. But you can turn this on if you want. It will definitely help you out if you guys want to. But you see how like it's a little bit darker. It gets a little bit brighter. It can definitely help you out depending if you have an HDR monitor or not. I think this looks a little bit more realistic, a little bit more bright. We'll leave it on for now just so you can see it. For the voice over IP, this is just really if you guys want to hear people in game. A lot of times if there's a lot of toxicity going on and I just want to game with my friends and I want to record it and I don't want to hear that because then I have to blur it all out, I'll turn this all off, and then a lot of times don't have this on. But if I want that comedy, I don't really care, I just want to listen to people, well then I'll have it on. Just really depends on what you have. This is where you can change the dark zone. That's where it's really gonna matter, right? The dark zone VoIP channel, you can put ally only your teammates or everybody. So if you guys ever get into a situation where you don't feel like you want to listen to everybody, 100% the place to be. Accessibility, this is really up to you. The on-screen keyboard, I think this is actually really great. You hit down on the D-pad and it pops up the on-screen keyboard, my bad, sorry. But yeah, I think this is actually really good to have right there. And I think this is about it. Some people do like the colorblind mode because when you throw a grenade, it shows the big circle. If you're about to throw a skill, it shows the circle. So a lot of people do like that colorblind mode. It's really up to you. If you guys have any questions, if you guys are still struggling to get the right type of settings because your aim's off, if you guys want to make me a video on some tips and tricks to get better aim in the Division, I can definitely create all of those. Let me know in the comment section. If you guys enjoyed this video, leave a thumbs up. But until the next one, hey, nothing but skills is out. Take it easy, everybody.